First of all, we don't want any journalists killed.
There have been a huge number of journalists killed in Gaza.
We don't kill journalists, and we don't jail them either,
It's hard for me not to think that you have something that you want to hide when you won't let the press in.
No, it's not, but it's dangerous.
It is especially outrageous that the government of Israel invokes security of journalists as a ground for denial of entry of journalists to Gaza, given that so many Palestinian journalists were killed in the Strip. Well, it was always an issue for international journalists to enter Gaza. They needed Israeli permission to get there. But immediately after the attack, the murderous attack on Israeli communities on October 7th, 2023, the Israeli army has sealed completely the borders. And since then, for more than 2 years and 3 months, foreign journalists are not allowed to enter the Gaza Strip without the escort of the Israeli army. I think the Israeli army does not allow journalists to enter because there's a lot of things that happen in the Gaza Strip that the Israeli army and the Israeli government would not want the international community and the international civil society to see. So we're expecting a hearing on January 26th, shortly, and hopefully that hearing will bring about a change in policy. It is clear to me that the Israeli government does not want journalists that come from credible, renowned media outlets to transmit from Gaza stories about the reality that Israel has created in the Strip. That is the reason, and that's the only reason. Journalists throughout history and in all parts of the globe have went to dangerous places in order to bring the stories to the international community. That's their calling, and sometimes they endanger their lives to do so. It is especially, I think, outrageous that the government of Israel invokes security of journalists as a ground for denial of entry of journalists to Gaza, given that so many Palestinian journalists were killed in the Strip, sometimes wearing vests that were clearly marked that they are members of the press corps. It is clear that in an area, in a small stretch of land in this world where war has been waging for more than 2 years, where dozens of thousands of civilians have been killed, that in turn has made the international discussion on Gaza crippled and allowed Israel an advantage in monopolizing information about the war. One of the most important conditions for the work of journalists is independence. It's the freedom to choose the story, to choose the interviewers, to choose where to go and which questions to ask and who to ask. When journalists enter with a military escort, they are completely banned from making those choices. They are brought to an area the army chose for them. They are shown a scene the army has chosen. Embedded journalism is not free journalism. Since October 7th, 2023, we've seen that the Israeli Supreme Court was extremely reluctant to give any remedy to petitioners that would be seen as making the war effort difficult. Unfortunately, this is not the only case when it comes to humanitarian assistance in Gaza, when it comes to the conditions in which Gazan prisoners were held in Israel, when it comes to the right of Palestinian prisoners to get Red Cross visits. In all of these cases, the strategy of the court was to drag the case, to allow postponements, again and again by the government and not to rule. It has to be mentioned that the Israeli court is under extreme pressure, being attacked by the Israeli government that initiated the constitutional overhaul, trying to strip the judiciary of its powers to review government actions and legislative acts. And so the court is very cautious in what fronts it actually takes in which it intervenes the acts of the ruling coalition. And journalists in Gaza is simply, up till now, not one of those issues that it chose to take seriously. So my expectation is, first of all, that on the 26th, the hearing will indeed take place. As we've seen, there were multiple postponements until now, and hopefully this hearing will not be postponed. And second, I hope that this hearing will bring about a conditional order, and the court will agree that it's time for the policy that prevents journalists from entering the Gaza Strip independently to be cancelled. I mean, the importance and the weight that was given in this case to the freedom of press and to the right to information, to credible information from plurality of sources, has been very low, unbecoming of an open society, definitely of a society that aspires to be a democratic society. Even in times of war, freedom of press, and maybe especially in times of war, freedom of the press is a fundamental, crucial value to be upheld and cherished and respected. And I think it is clear that neither the Israeli government nor the army nor the court, the Israeli court, have lived to this